And we'll get in underneath here. Wait, I need a flashlight. I can't see nothing. Lighting. Hello everyone, welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. Today we have an interesting and very cool little dune buggy. This one here I have worked on previously. Actually several years ago I got this thing going for the individual and did a bunch of work to it. I'll go over that in the video, so make sure you continue watching, don't scroll away. But today we have a problem with this thing misfiring, and it's only running on like 2 or 3 cylinders at times, and then at times you can hear the cylinders kick in. So come along and we'll see if we can get this thing figured out. Contact. So the backstory on this thing is this individual bought this thing. He's 65 years old now. He bought this thing when he was 18 years old. This is a Volkswagen frame with a Meyers Manx body on top of the Volkswagen frame. Now, I believe this thing is somewhere around the 1976 to 1978 model. He wasn't 100% sure what frame and what motor this thing has, because he has put a different motor in this thing. This is not the original engine, and actually this motor, when it's running correctly, has enough power to lift the front end of the car, which is not saying just a lot because there's not a whole lot of weight up front there. But he just told me today that when he would do that, he ruined his transmission as well. So backstory on this is also, I have probably about 4 or 5 years ago, this thing was brought out of storage. It had been in storage for close to 25 years, I believe, and the gas tank was all gummed up. Fuel system was all varnished up. We put new fuel pump on it. This pump right here is brand new. It has the carburetor rebuilt, new intake gaskets, new shocks. We've put new axle boots, seals in the transmission, new brakes, rotors, brakes and drums, front end work. We just got this thing to where it runs good, drives nice. I also wired up 2 LED lights up front. He wanted to keep the stock appearance, so we went ahead and left these headlights on there. Those are the turn signals. This thing does drive and ride really well, but like I said in the introduction, it's misfiring on 1, I know, and possibly 2 cylinders. So you're going down the road, it will misfire and at times kick back in. So let's go ahead and start this thing. Verify we are in neutral. I really need to be pushing on the gas, so here we go. Well, it's flooded, so I'm gonna have to leave it set for a little bit. I'm gonna pull all the spark plugs out of it, and we'll try to dry those up and see if we can get this thing unflooded. All right, so an interesting thing here. We have pulled the spark plugs. Wanted to see how bad they're fouled. This one here is really fouled. This one is extremely wet. This one's very fouled and it's dry. This one looks like it got squished. There's not the gap there that it should be. So those spark plugs are brand new from last year. He said he didn't hardly run it, so I'm gonna check. I think what I want to do is check the compression on these cylinders, because Well, let's go ahead and check spark. I've got my spark tester here anyway. Let's go ahead and check the spark and we'll see what we've got. Place you guys right there. And this is not a very, it's not, well, here, we can just do this. Would you care to come over here and crank this thing a little? I want to see if it's still got spark. Okay, hang on. Why do we all of a sudden, okay, try it. Hang on. Okay, try it. We lost our spark. That's why it's not working. That's why it flooded too. Okay, I'm gonna need to do this. Okay, try it now. We're still gonna check compression on this thing, and then we're gonna go ahead and adjust the valves again. Customer requested that, so we're gonna go ahead and readjust the valves. I'm gonna have to try to figure out why I keep having spark plugs that malfunction. So we'll go ahead and get new spark plugs coming and readjust our valves, and then we'll see how it runs. Sorry I couldn't bring you guys along to see how it ran before, because I drove it in here and it ran just, well, ran on 2 cylinders, 3 cylinders, kind of misfiring, but now I couldn't get it started. So you guys will just have to take my word for it that it ran like crap when it came in here. So we'll get new spark plugs coming. Let's see what we can get figured out on this. All right, we do have new spark plugs. They're all gapped. Now, this one here is going to require that we remove this upper part here, and basically all that you do with that is take like pliers and just unthread that. So what I've been doing is been doing a little bit of research and trying to figure out, you know, why are the spark plugs fouling on 2 and 4? This one's 4, this one's 2. So why are we having problems with that fouling? What I have found, and what I am assuming is probably going on here, is we might have the choke, the automatic choke, that's out of adjustment on this carburetor. Now I know I messed with it a little bit last year trying to get it to idle correctly, and I wonder if that's part of our problem here. I'm not sure. I've checked all of the, like last year I remember I checked, make sure we had no vacuum leaks. So we may be messing with the carburetor again, trying to make sure that our choke opens completely when it's warmed up. It's a 12-volt coil operated choke that it gets voltage, and as it warms up it starts to pull that choke open. So we got to make sure that that thing's opening correctly, and if it's not, then that's probably causing our problem with the spark plugs fouling up on 2 and 4 almost immediately. So yeah, not looking forward to that, because I remember how bad I fought this thing last year and it was an idle issue. So I'm hoping I don't have to run through all of that again, but if we do, we do. We'll get her done. We're gonna get it figured out one way or the other. Okay folks, we're back on this dune buggy, and I know I didn't record everything. I apologize for that. It's been pretty hectic around here and been trying to just keep my head above water. But what we have done, this thing I figured out was not idling correctly. We had 2 fouled plugs, and through research I figured out that if you don't have the electric choke set correctly on this carburetor, it will foul these front 2 plugs. So I did figure out that I had that choke adjusted way off. I'm not totally sure what I was thinking there, but either way I did it wrong. So I adjusted it back the way it's supposed to be, and then it wouldn't idle. So we pulled the carburetor apart again. I blew through everything and I could get it to blow through the idle passages and everything, but I could not see where I could get everything cleaned out for sure. Because in order to really redo this carburetor, you really need to be able to pull all these little ports apart, and I don't have the facilities to be able to do all that. So what I did is I soaked it in the Berryman Chem Dip carburetor parts cleaner for about 2 hours. And as you can see, that carburetor came back clean. It does run much better now than it did. So I will show you guys that as soon as I get some more things done on this car that I've been working on. We did change the oil. We've put new spark plugs in it, and this car uses 10W40 oil. We put zinc in this oil because it does need, I don't have the VR, I think it's the VR Valvoline oil, which is zinc already added. But what we did was we added the zinc to it. It does need zinc because these are flat tappet camshafts. And so yeah, you want to have zinc in there. These do not have a filter. See the oil levels up there on the full mark, and it's very simple to replace the oil on this. It's right in underneath here. This is the oil drain plug, and they say you're supposed to take this out, take this off, and there's a screen there. But the last several times I've changed oil on this thing, there was nothing on that screen, so I don't like to take it apart oftener than I have to, because those studs do have a chance of stripping out the oftener you take it apart. So my opinion is, if I don't have to take it apart, I'm not going to. So we put a new fuel filter on it, drained all the fuel out of the tank, put fresh gas in it. It has a nice shiny carburetor. I'm just impressed with that Berryman's Chem Dip. That's great stuff. I love it. They're not a sponsor yet. But hey, if they want to, I'm happy for it because it is good stuff. All right. What we're doing now is the customer wants these turn signals wired up to where whenever you turn right or left, you have turn signal. So I do have the wiring figured out underneath there, which one is which. I need to hook up a ground yet. As you can see, it's sticking out the back here. So I need to get in underneath there, hook up that ground, and we'll get that hooked up so that this thing will alert him when the turn signals are on. Because as of now, the only thing he can go by is this right here, and he says he forgets it a lot and doesn't like it because it does not return back to central position with the steering wheel. So let's get you guys set up here, and I'll show you guys how I have to get into this thing. It's not fun. This is why mechanics have back trouble. All right, so we just ease ourselves in here. Oh, take the hat off. We'll ease ourselves in here like this. I can see this right here, and we'll crimp this on there, and then we'll heat. This is a heat shrink connector. I always use heat shrink connectors. Heat this down, seal it off. That way no moisture can get into it. And then there's a ground point underneath here that will catch. And we'll get in underneath here. Wait, I need a flashlight. I can't see nothing. Lighting. I know you guys can't see, but you know, I apologize. I need to see. So this is how I get in underneath here, since this thing has no hood. Ooh, breathing heavily. Don't mind me. I'm just fat and out of shape. Okay. Now, getting out of here. Ah, ow. Old man noises. I'm gonna have to take out extra insurance for back troubles. All right, so we'll put this battery cover back on here. Like that. Now, let's test our turn signal lights. So we're going to right-hand turn. We must have a bad ground because they should not both be flashing. Why? All right, so we've got the wiring problem figured out. The ground, somehow I didn't get this thing grounded correctly, so added a ground and now it works the way it's supposed to. Right turn, indicators green. Left turn, indicators green. Okay, so let's get this thing out. We'll take it for a test drive, make sure everything works. If it does, we're gonna send this thing on its way. Push in the clutch, turn on the key, neutral, give the gas a pump or two. Runs like a top. As you can see, we got a half tank fuel. It's got 57,999 miles. Push the thing in reverse. Got to push it down and move it back and over to the left and down. Aha, white. You know what? I better take my hat off. Okay. This thing is so much fun to drive. It's running like a top. The windshield's fogging up. I want one like this. Will I have one like this? I don't know. But I sure do want one like this. Blast to drive. We'll get up here and turn around and we'll head back to the shop. Alright, now this thing is a head turner. We'll drive it into town. Turned over 58,000 miles. Dan and Andy building going up there. I think I should go through the Dairy Queen drive-thru and get some ice cream. Yes, I'll take a small vanilla not cup.
Okay, small vanilla in a cup?
Yes, small vanilla cup.
That be all?
That'd be it.
Alright, $2.49.
Thank you. You know, just gotta have a little ice cream to celebrate. It doesn't want to stay running. I'm gonna have to up the idle just a little bit. But other than that, should be good. I think they said $2.49. Thank you. Thank you. And that is how you get smiles out of people. All right, folks. Still enjoying what's left of my ice cream, but it seems to be running good. Idles well. So I think this thing's ready to go to the customer. This has been a fun project. I've learned a lot about these things, so they're fun. I enjoy this thing. I love how this thing gets the smiles and makes people happy. So I love it. But I think we got everything done that the customer wanted to have done. This thing's running better than it has for a long time. So I'm going to end this video, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't do any of this, because if nobody watched my videos, it'd be no fun. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you guys anything, and it helps me out a bunch. I sure appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.